Dost thou still retain thy integrity? Curse God and die. But he said unto her, thou speakest one of the foolish women speak. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God? Shall we not receive evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lips. Because you know in the other chapter, Job say, y'all give if y'all take him away, right? So let's go to Philippians 3 and 15. Because Job lost everything that he had, right? Ain't that what happened? Let's look at Philippians 3 and 15. Or 3 and 8 actually. Three and 7. But what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for the Messiah. Didn't this man just say, God give it, God take it away? So all the things that he had, they were gained, but he ended up losing it for y'all's sake, to show forth that he was a perfect and upright man. Yea, doubtless, I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of the Messiah, Yahshua my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung, that I may win the Messiah. Even though he wasn't happy about what he lost, he said, shall I not get good and evil from this man's hand? If he gave it to me, I could easily lose it. But for all that, I'm not going to sin with my lips. I'm going to hold my integrity. When my reins are tried, I'm going to show forth that my heart is steadfast with God, even in the midst of loss. Stupid. See, a lot of people don't have that thought process. They lose and they sit back and they go to looking at something. I hate God. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? 9 times out of 10, Satan probably stood up there before y'all and said, guess what? I bet if I touch this right here, if you let me do this right here, I bet you that nigga cuss you out to your face. Because that's what he just did with Job, right? Touch everything he have, he'll curse you to your face. He say skin for skin, he'll give everything for his life. You know what I'm saying? And he go to lose and all this stuff, I bet he curse you so he can get it back. That's why he said you got to be willing to lose your life to gain it. Job was willing to lose. He ended up gaining more in the end, didn't he? The Messiah telling you the same thing. He that loseth his life shall save it. If you're willing to lose everything you got, you'll get more in the end. See, we don't sit back and look at that. See, that's where faith come in at. See, you ain't going to get that out of the law. The law can't teach you that. Keeping the Sabbath day can't teach you that concept. You know what I'm talking about? But see, they try to turn around and make this seem like, but see, Job is like what we were talking about in 1 Peter, a man who suffered and he did no wrong. See, these niggas talking about, I lost my family, I lost my house. No, nigga, you lost that stuff because you wicked. In that particular situation. You know what I'm saying? A lot of time when we took losses, a lot of them losses we took because you did something you ain't had no business. Or you made a choice. Man had been showing you don't do that. You went and did it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to take a loss on that. Maybe you'll learn to obey next time. Maybe you'll learn to listen, do what I tell you. Come on back over here to Psalm 139. Matter of fact, since I mentioned that there, come on to Genesis chapter 1. We read that again, tie this in. That tied all in together, get on that. Verse 29 of Genesis chapter 1. One and 29, book of Genesis. And God said, behold, I've given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, and the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and every fowl of the air, everything that creep upon the earth wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so. Now you know them Hebrews say, see right here, see you can smoke weed. They say you can't smoke it, you can eat it. That's what they say. He said he gave you herb bearing seed. See, it's a herb. It's a herb. But marijuana is not classified as a herb. It's actually classified as a plant. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, every plant is not a herb. You know what I'm talking about? Every plant. Dandelion is a plant. Nigga, is it a herb? No, it's not. I bet you ain't nobody finna be munching on no dandelions. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't know what the scientific name of it, but you know they call them sticker birds. Ain't none of them ain't no herb. I bet you ain't finna go be chewing on none of them. How many of y'all gonna go eat some cotton? That's a plant. It ain't no herb though. You know what I'm saying? Dudes just say that because we call marijuana herb when you smoking it. But actually, it is not considered an herb. Cocaine, if we take that man, cocaine is a plant. Though you can eat it, you gonna say that's a herb too? Opium is a plant. Is that a herb too? Just because it's a plant don't make it a herb. You know what I'm saying? There are certain herbs, like mustard is considered an herb. You know, some of y'all niggas cook, y'all know all the other ones, some of them escape my mind. Oregano, basil. You know what I'm saying? Rosemary, these are actually considered herbs. You know what I'm saying? Does marijuana have a purpose? Yeah. Eating it and smoking it ain't one of them.
Hear that?
Yeah.
You sure?
Toss him under the bus. He got Calvin. He Calvin.
And Peter, I don't think you heard it.
He got Calvin.
I think he had a finger in his or something.
Wowzers. So now he say that this fruit of a tree yields seed. And it's an herb bearing seed. We already said except the seed fall in the ground and die, it abide alone. We read last night in Jeremiah 17 about that tree, right? Let's read it again. Jeremiah 17. Kingston, no jumping, no running, none of that. Make a good choice. Decide wisely. Sit down. Sit down.
But you must choose.
That nigga hit Wu-Tang. Jeremiah 17 is there. Blessed is the man that trusts in Yah, and whose hope Yah is. For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, that spread out her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat come. For the leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. This tree in Genesis is saying the same thing, that it's not going to stop yielding fruit, didn't it? You know what I'm talking about? Now, what is this? It said a tree by some waters. What does it mean it won't feel when heat comes? What could all this be talking about? I have no idea. I guess we'll find out in a minute. Let's come back to Psalm 139. I don't know what it's talking about. We might be reaching again. Verse 14 of Psalm 139. Have we established that he possessed his reins and covered him in his mother's womb? Because you know how he covered him? They rolled the stone on the sepulchre. Covered him in his mother's womb. They say we covered a hole up, he can't get out. I bet some of y'all would have been utterly hot when y'all were giving birth. Somebody said we're going to stitch that hole up so that baby can't come up out of there. They were like, C-section the son, get this out of here. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, that my soul know right well. So how is it fearfully and wonderfully made then? Fearfully and wonderfully made. Well, let's look and see in Luke 24 about a fearfully and wonderfully made body. Luke 24:36. After that, 1 Corinthians 15 and 57. Wow. And as they thus spoke, Yahshua himself stood in the midst of them, and saith unto them, Peace be unto you. For they were terrified and affrighted, and supposed that they had seen a spirit. And he said unto them, Why are ye troubled, and why do thoughts arise in your hearts? Behold my hands and my feet, that it is I myself. Handle me and see. For a spirit have not flesh and bones, as you see me have. Now they was a little fearful, but he say he's wonderfully made, though. How would he be wonderfully made? 1 Corinthians 15 and 57. You got to sit back and look at that. Adam was fearfully and wonderfully made to a certain extent. Because guess what he was made out? He came out his mother's womb. He came out the earth. Just like the Messiah did. Make it verse 50, pardon me. 49, 46, 48, 47.
Luke.
Stop. 1 Corinthians 15 and 47. The first man is of the earth, earthy. The second man is the Lord from heaven. As is the earthly, such are they also that are earthly. And as is the heavenly, such as they also that are heavenly. As we have borne the image of the earthly, we also shall also bear the image of the heavenly. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed. In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. Now how another way how we know Adam wasn't made to live forever. When did he put on immortality? When did he put on incorruption if he was made from a corruptible source, being dust? So Adam was fearfully, wonderfully made to a certain extent. But Yahshua was definitely fearfully and wonderfully made when he was fashioned as the Son of God. As we know, Romans 1 and 4 said he was declared to be the Son of God with power by the Spirit of Kodesh and the resurrection of the dead. That means he was wonderfully made. That'd be a wonderful sight for them to see that. That's why they were terrified. He said, touch me, man. Spirit ain't got flesh and bones like you see me have. Now I'm going to ask y'all again to know the difference. What's the difference why he said he flesh and bones? I've asked y'all this before. He said he flesh and bones. So what was he missing?
Blood.
And what the law say the blood is?
Life.
So what was replaced with it? The Spirit, the Word. That's what gave him life. You know what I'm saying? But you see what I'm saying? I know I done asked y'all that before, but I want that to reiterate that in your brain to know that. That's why he said flesh and bone. That's why the law say she done been the joint to me. She flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. We ain't looking at no blood. Blood is what keep us alive now. The Ruach HaKodesh is what's going to keep us alive forever. That law can't give you that on its own. You know what I'm saying? That's why he say flesh and blood can't inherit the kingdom of God. Carnal nigga, you can't get in here. That's why he say he got to worship those, he seek those that worship him in spirit and truth. You're going to have to switch that blood out. That's why he say the first Adam was made a quickening soul. The second Adam was made a quickening spirit. I mean a living soul. Second Adam was made a quickening spirit. That's why it's got to be a change. You know what I'm saying? That's why Paul said we look to be clothed with our tabernacle from heaven. That's why when we look at Joshua, the high priest, he had the filthy garments on. He said, get him a change of clothes. You know what I'm saying? Give him some wonderful clothes. You know what I'm saying? Revelation chapter 1. You know, I seen a brother talking about this here. He said, how come when we put Caesar Borgia up, everybody like, I love Jesus. You know what I'm talking about? You go to talking about he black, see, race don't matter. That always killed me. Long as Jesus white, everything easy. You go to talking about he black, see, race don't matter. What difference if he could be black, purple, yellow, green? Come on, man, you know ain't no green people out here. There's some purple niggas out here.
It is right on Bond Road.
Shoot, we know one of them, he locked up right now. That's the only nigga I ever seen cringe at his own smell. That was one of the funny things I ever seen. That nigga said, I ain't musket. That nigga did like that. Nigga said, oh. We were riding in the tempo. Nigga say, bro, you stink, my nigga. That nigga say, I ain't. All look like this here, turn back here, my nigga, you stink. You know that bad one nigga tell you stink. It's another thing, three niggas look in your face, my nigga, you stink. Am I stink? Yeah, you stink. Nigga just went ahead and told him. That nigga lifted his arm up and said, I ain't stink. They said, oh. No, it's bad. You turned away from your own self. What time to soak in Epsom salt and soap? No shower. Nigga like this here, nigga say, boy, you just gonna have to replace that whole tub when you get finished. Throw it out. Ain't no, what do you call it, all that stuff, man? Ain't no, they don't forget the name. Ain't no comment, ain't no nothing gonna do nothing for that.
CLR.
CLR, none of that. No OxyClean.
Oh.
Just go ahead and just get a new tub. That nigga get finished soaking, it's gonna be over with. Nigga, somebody else gonna come in behind that, so what I'm supposed to do with that? I'm supposed to get that after?
What you replacing? Oh,
Revelation 1 about verse 13.
Well, you got to be a
What?
sweat nigga.
When you cringe at your own smell, you know you gonna have to get rid of that tub.
Better tub to go out. The tub went bad.
I'm telling you, nigga can't take no shower. He got the soap and some chemicals.
He said the tub. Nigga say you got a soap.
I turned and said, "You Jews, but y'all niggas ain't never got no business getting that funky." Well, let one of you niggas walk in here and be that stank. Boy, y'all better be glad I can't cuss, boy. Cause boy, I'm taking it back to 97, 98 on you niggas, boy.
Oh, man.
It don't even sound the same. I can't even say it now. Cause it ain't gonna work.
Ain't no replacement word for that.
There ain't no replacement. Niggas say, man, this nigga stink. But see, man, you gotta add the other 2 words, other 3 words, and just come on home. But what we just walking, boy, that nigga stinking big. And with the affliction, see, it was his line, and then everybody just took it because of the affliction he put on the last word. It wasn't even the word, it's the affliction. I'm telling you, I was a master at cussing people out. Because it wasn't the words you using, it's how you use them. When you hit that emphasis, put it on there, man, nigga feel bad you walking there, boy, somebody stank. Just shame, nigga just curl up in a ball, boy. I hope the nigga don't point me out. Don't point me out. Man, don't make no sense for no grown person, right? Well, unless you've been doing some type of hard labor, exercise, something that would, or you've been outside in this Florida heat for over 45 minutes. Well, you ain't got no business smelling like that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no business smelling like that. Grown man smell like a sour dish right there, unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? That's unacceptable. Niggas smelling like boo-boo and all the time. I just bathed.
In what?
Nigga, you need some vinegar. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up.
What?
Revelation 1 and 12. And I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, girt about the paps with a golden girdle. And his head and his hairs were as white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as the flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. And he in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword, and his countenance was as the sun shine in his strength. So you know if his face was shining, that's wonderfully made. We'll deal with that, him living and dying by the sword another time. But you see if he's shining, he's wonderfully made. You see how he said his hair was white like wool? Come over here to Job 41. Some of this stuff I got in Job 41, I'm going to get another day. But you sit back looking at this man being fearfully, wonderfully made is talking about that fashion new body. Now we're going to look at some of these places where we coming up to live sickness to be the same way, to be fearfully and wonderfully made. Job 41 about verse 32. Remember how we read, he said, wasn't nobody like Job on the earth. He make a path to shine after him. One who think the deep to be hoary. Upon the earth there is not his like, who is made without fear. He behold all things, he is king over all the children of pride. What you think that means? He make a path to shine after him. I'm the way, I'm the truth, and I'm the life. You know what I'm saying? He say the path of the just is as a shining light that shine more and more unto the perfect day. This man left a path of eternal life coming in his way, but you see how he say the hoary. One would think the deep to be hoary. You know what the word hoary means? Who know what it means to have a whore head? Gray hair. So he said you would think the deep to be hoary. Because remember now, Leviticus 19, let's go to Leviticus 19. That's what it means when you read the hoary head Langston. I mean he got a gray hair. That's why you see the Messiah later on down in the back. His hair gray now. Let's go read and rock. Leviticus 19. Verse 32. It says the deep. He say one would think the deep to be hoary. Ain't nobody like him now. He's made without fear. He said, thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear thy God. I am Yah. What you think that means? You're going to rise up before the gray-haired man and honor the old man. When you going to do that? When that's going to happen? He said, I would consider the deep to be hoary, meaning I consider the deep to be old. Messiah got gray hair. Revelation 20 and 12. And I guess what that means? That means when y'all sit back and y'all see older people, they got gray, you supposed to give them their respect. Don't matter they ain't, well, that's just the Messiah, I ain't got to respect. Give respect to older people, period. You see that gray hair in their head, your Lord tell them, give them their respect. Honor them. That don't matter, don't matter who they is. Give them their respect. You must ain't did it. Now you talking about your job, when the people jumping about the bed, swinging around here like little monkeys. That's a little different. It's night time. You raise your hand at the people, we gonna see T on the late night news. What? Elder abuse.
You finna get a fresh, not the back slap, you finna get a fresh charge.
Nigga ain't gonna fight no real person. I don't wanna fight old people. Nigga her age, I don't want no problems.
You want an advantage.
Like this here, I'm sorry. I ain't mean it. Nigga, you ain't fight, nigga. All right, Lizzie.
She got one in her hand.
Yeah, that's why we call her Tizzy Lizzie. She always in the tizzy. And it's usually about food. Revelation 20 and 12. I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God. Stand before God. And the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in those books according to their works. Daniel chapter 12, verse 2. Let's look at this fearfully, wonderfully made, because we got to get ready to get out of here. Daniel 12 and 2, John chapter 5, verse 25. Niggas say our chief angel to save us is Michael. Niggas say that's Michael. Say we ain't got no Messiah, say Michael's our Messiah. 12 and 1. I'm telling you, man, when niggas reject the Messiah, they come up with all type of stuff. Niggas say I reject the book of Daniel because there's angels mentioned in there. They got angels' names in there. But if you're going to reject the book of Daniel, you got to throw out the book of Ezekiel because Ezekiel mentioned Daniel. And if you throw out Ezekiel, you're going to have to throw out the law because Ezekiel mentioned the law. And if you're going to throw out the law, you got to throw out the land. If you throw out the land, you got to throw out Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That means you done, stupid nigga. Let's use your logic. Let's use your logic. If you say we got to throw out Daniel, we got to throw out Ezekiel because Ezekiel mentioned Daniel. And if we throw out Ezekiel, we got to throw out the law because Ezekiel mentioned the law. You know what I'm talking about? So then after that means we got to throw out Abraham, we got to throw out Isaac, we got to throw out Jacob, we got to throw out the land, we got to throw out God himself. I mean, you got to do this here. Talk the whole book. See, you can get niggas when they, if you don't know no better, nigga come at you. See, we got to throw out Daniel because it mentioned angels. Then you got to sit back and think. He said, if Noah, Job, or Daniel were in the city,
Other foot.
got to throw that out too. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which stand for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such was as never was since there was a nation.
The library will close in 30 minutes at 6 o'clock.
Even to that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered. Every one that shall be found written in the book. Didn't you just hear you say, all my members were written in a book? Y'all didn't catch that in Psalm 139 when he said, all my members are written in a book, did you? Well, who are his members then? I'm going to show you in a minute. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting contempt. John 5 and 25.
Good job.
Kingston. Hold it down. Hold it down. P.O.P. Hold it down. I know that's what you were looking for. That's why y'all were looking crazy. Make it 24. Yeah, I said I'm gonna have to beat both of you niggas up later on. It's all right. Snatch both of them head wraps off y'all head. They gonna thank me for it too.
I'm helping too.
Well, she said you almost killed her to death. She said she wanted to live. Since the neck.
Where was I?
Woo! say yoga flame. I'll say I gotta go in front of my people. They gonna think I want to look like Freddy Krueger. Don't burn me, please.
That nigga said,
Yeah, see, a singe is a light
that
burn.
nigga said by seeing half a neck. Like, what's up, dog? That said,
Truly, truly, I say unto you, he that hear my word and believe on him that sent me, have everlasting life, and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. Truly, truly, I say unto you, the hour is coming, and now is, when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of God, and they that hear shall live. For the Father hath life in himself, so have he given to the Son to have life in himself, and have given him authority to execute judgment also, because he is the Son of Man. Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming, in which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice, and shall come forth, they that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that done evil unto the resurrection of damnation. He said all his members are written in the book. Ephesians 5 and 30. Y'all too calm down. Y'all like Abbott and Costello. Like I said, that's in verse 16 now. We sat back and look. He said, my substance was not hid from thee when I was made in secret, curiously wrought in the lower parts of the earth. In verse 15 of Psalm 139, he says, I saw his substance being unperfect, and all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. Let's see who his members are that are written in that book, and let's see a Revelation 21 and 27. I'll back us up on that. Verse 30 of Ephesians chapter 5. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning the Messiah in the synagogue. So the members are actually us then. You know what I'm saying? Because he just said we are the members of his body. He said all my members are written in the book. Revelation 21 and 27. We still ain't spent that herb bearing tree like I wanted, and I'm running out of time, and I ain't going to have enough time to deal with it. But you already know that herb yielding seed. That's actually that tree by the waters bringing forth fruit. That's the tree of life. That herb yielding seed continually bearing fruit, because the Messiah got that hole in his side to continually bear fruit. He'll never stop bearing fruit. Continually. That's why he say he purged it and he bring forth more fruit. You know what I'm saying? Drop more seed. He gave his disciples the word and said keep on spreading it. But we're going to deal with that there, because the dude want me to preach on this show about fruits of the Spirit, and I got to deal with y'all before I take it to them.
That's how it happens.
Show lives.
Get up there.
Revelation 21 and 27. And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defile, neither whatsoever work abomination or make lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. So the only way you're going to be written in that book, you're going to have to be a part of the body. If you're not a part of the body, you're not written in the book. That's rough right there.
hey, boy, get my water.
Come on back to Psalm 138.
You know, Jack, boy.
So you know how he was made in secret, right? None of them knew, according to John chapter 20 verse 9, none of the disciples knew that he had to raise from the dead. They had yet not known the scripture that said he must raise from the dead. They weren't aware of it. You know what I'm saying? Now we sitting back looking at what he said, when I was made in secret, curiously wrought in the lower parts of the earth. What was his substance? His substance is us. Thy eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect. And in thy book, all my members were written. Because he told the disciples to tarry in Jerusalem till they were made perfect, right? 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1, and we get out of here. And then John 5:39. You do know his eyes, he said, thine are mine. He said, Father, keep them in thy name, right? All that stuff he prayed, his eyes were on his substance. He said, we were yet unperfect. Look what Paul says, 2 Corinthians 5 and 1. I might got one where Peter say the same thing in 2 Peter chapter 1. He said, for we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved,